Hey guys, today I wanted to give a bit of an update on plants in my garden. It's been a couple weeks after planting, and many plants have sprouted and even grown a lot. Over here, the ridge gourd that I planted is growing. It's starting to have some vines, some ants here and there, mostly due to diseases, but I'm spraying, so any small insects or aphids will be gone soon. I also planted 3 down here. I originally planted 4, but only this one came, so I replanted 2 seeds, one here and one here, and those sprouted too. So this will climb up here throughout the season. And then on this side, I have eggplant. These have grown a very nice amount, especially these ones on the left. Already have some flowers. I might let these grow, or I might prune them off, because these are still pretty small plants. And behind them are flat beans, or hyacinth beans. We call them averikai. And these are going to grow up, like on this twine over here, and attach over here and crawl through the side of the fence. I also have a couple growing over here and over here. I'm not sure how, but we'll train these to climb here as well. Here are the peppers. Hot banana chili. Some of these have curl leaf disease. These are due to some insects and pests. I've had a lot this year so far, so I'm trying to spray them with neem oil. I'll make a video on that too. But so far, they're growing an okay amount. They also have flowers really early, most likely due to disease. They're flowering early. I don't want this to happen because it's still a very small plant, and I want to grow tall, or at least a bit before flowers and fruits. Also here I have I'm not sure what this is, I just let it grow. I'm pretty sure this is ashguard. Last year it grew just like this. Randomly on this side it grew and gave me ashguard. I didn't even know. So this year I thought I'd let this grow too, just around the chilies. This is here bird's eye. Also has a bit of disease, but it's growing a steady amount. And here, Moringa. It's growing very slowly, but you can see they're still here. Probably watered these small seedlings. Took a while to come, but I put a bunch of seedlings everywhere. I remember putting a second batch since the first batch took a while to come and didn't even come. But I guess it just takes a while to germinate, because now they're popping up everywhere. See these? All of these, not this, are small moringa sprouts. So this will grow well throughout the year. I didn't expect all this to come. The reason I planted a second batch was because I thought the first batch just didn't work. But I guess it just takes much longer to sprout, like I mentioned in the moringa video myself. And again here I have 2 eggplants. So that's this section of the garden. On this side over here, my fastest growing plant every year is the zucchini. I'm not sure how these leaves get so big, but they're huge. And there's already some zucchinis coming. Look, this one over here looks ready to harvest soon. It's very prickly. Zucchini's here. I guess these one didn't pollinate, but I pollinated this one, so it's coming. Nice. One's on this side too, and they take up a lot of space, so you need to prune them. Like this one is growing so big, I planted it here, that I might need to cut these leaves off. Even on this side, I have a small bean plant. This isn't flat beans, this is just normal contender beans. And I need to prune the leaves, these are getting really big. Over here, tomato. First year, they didn't die of diseases too quickly. I've been pruning the bottom, some diseases here and there, but so far it's growing nice. I pruned back some suckers and let it grow here. So we have some flowers now. Also, this is a heat-tolerant tomato variety called Creole. So we'll see how this does in the Texas heat. Over here again I have a second zucchini plant. Again growing just as big. Huge leaves. And there's a zucchini. Zucchini there. Zucchini here. One of the best plants that grow every season. And then over And then over here I have watermelon. See, I planted this originally through a store-bought plant, and for some reason it died. So I planted again from seeds, which I already had. See, this is the crimson melon that I got from Home Depot. It didn't sprout correctly first time, and for some reason died. So I planted from seeds again that I already had from last year. They're growing very slowly. All my plants are growing much slower than last year, since all of them have diseases. I have tons of aphids and pests this year, so I have to keep spraying with neem oil. I'll make a video on that. And then on this side with my potted plants, we got 2 blueberries. Pretty sure I already made a video of this. I'm going to plant this in the ground when the planting area is nice and acidic. I used soil acidifier to make that place acidic. Here mint is growing. You can do this in pots because we want lots of mint. This is hibiscus I grew from seeds, if you guys watched my other videos. Same with this, grown from seed. I cross-pollinated. This is Stolsi, nice and fragrant. Over here is curry leaves. It's growing very nicely. Tons of growth. Over here is the herb pit with more mint growing. Basil, rosemary, oregano, and Thai basil. These all grow very nicely every year no matter what. Also, for herbs like these, make sure to pluck off the seeds, because a plant diverts energy into seeds and we want more leaves. So plucking these will not only stop it from producing the seeds, but will branch out and create more leaves. Over here is a double petal hibiscus we bought from outside, and another variety of hibiscus I grew from seed. And then my favorite is this papaya. It's grown so much since we bought it out, if you've watched our previous video. It was still about here, and then these leaves sprouted upwards. It's like we live in a tropical area, but we don't. Massive, huge, beautiful leaves. And tons of flowers too. These are male flowers, so this papaya won't produce fruit, but that papaya tree over there, this papaya over here has male flowers, so this won't provide fruit, but that papaya tree over there will. So it's perfect, since this was a pollinator. It'll give me the pollination I need from these flowers for that papaya tree over there. Like I mentioned, on this papaya tree right here, you can see how the flowers are more cone shaped. That's because back here is where the papaya will grow. That one was more long shaped, doesn't give fruit. This one will give fruit. You can tell because this has a more bigger base, which is how you know it's the female flower. This will give fruit, hopefully this year, since I protected it last year from the cold. Over here we have onions. It's my first time growing it. They don't look too bad. Maybe some leaves are broken here and there, but I still think they'll grow fine. Not the best, but again, for first time, it's okay. Over here, I have my gingers and turmeric planted. Very slow compared to last year, because when I tried to germinate them inside, they didn't come. There's only one that grew so far okay. You can see a small sprout from the ginger. The rest, which are all here, still haven't grown properly, you can see. My favorite surprise this year was the pomegranate. Tons and tons of flowers on the pomegranate. For some reason it's not on the rest of these branches, probably because this main branch that's flowering is the biggest stem. The other ones are smaller branches. I'm not sure why it branched out like this, but there's tons of flowers. My first year with this many flowers. Most of these are just pollen flowers. You could call them male flowers. But I found one over here. This is a fruit flower. There's a stigma in here that I pollinated earlier. You can tell because of the round back here. This is the pomegranate. So we'll see throughout this year how the pomegranates will be. Over here is garlic. I harvested just one or two. I made another small video about that. This is my favorite garlic. It's nice and healthy. Some of these other ones, not too much. But this is again my first okay garlic growing season. So we'll see how these garlics turn out. It doesn't like the heat very much. Not much I can do here in Texas, but we have a long growing season, so that's good. And then we have this, the fig. Absolutely ginormous. It comes back better and better every year. It's only May, and we have this much growth all around. We already have figs forming. Literally everywhere. I don't even know how we can harvest this much. Birds keep eating them too. Tons and tons of figs everywhere. Over here I planted corn. Not all of it came up. Some are still coming slowly. I have corn on that side that's coming much better. Maybe because of better irrigation or sunlight, but I'm not sure. Now we have this section over here. This plum tree over here didn't give much fruit, but we don't usually use this plum tree anyways because the fruit on this plum tree, these variety of plums are very sour, almost inedible. They don't taste very good. We pruned it back a lot this year. Maybe that's what inhibited its plum growing. But on the other side, over here we have pears. And this is the first year that it's grown so many pears. There's pears everywhere. The branches started bending downwards. Pears here, up here, pears over here. All the branches, look, they're slowly bending downwards. Pears are everywhere, on the highest branches. The only issue is if critters and birds start eating it, then it makes a mess, and we lose most of our crop. But so far, it's growing very nicely. Tons and tons of pears everywhere. Next to the pear tree over here, I have citrus. This is lemon. Not many lemons yet because the flowers fell off. I wasn't able to pollinate it properly. This is a clementine. Mandarin, some growth coming. I pruned this back. This is orange, Valencia orange. I pollinated these flowers. Hopefully, oranges grow out of these. And another small lemon plant. I like how this grows more like a bush rather than tall, because then it's easily containable. Over here we have potatoes. I grew potatoes in the ground. For some reason, some of these didn't end up growing properly. I'm not sure if this is a watering issue. Last year it grew very vigorously. Maybe it's a disease problem, but I'll look into this. Potatoes usually grow very well. Like I said, most of my plants this year are growing slower. I'm not too sure whether that's soil or disease. But nonetheless, they're still growing. And this is cucumber, starting to grow. We're trying to train it to climb up these vines where it can meet up with the watermelon. This is growing very well. We just need to train it to climb the trellis. It's growing very nicely. And over here is corn. It's definitely growing much better than the other side. Corn growing everywhere. I replanted these because it didn't come on the first try. And then over here we have cantaloupe. Look at that. Cantaloupe. I should pollinate this. Very early cantaloupes. This will climb up this trellis to make another cantaloupe plant. Right here. Over here we have gongora growing. Again, stunted because of many diseases and pests. I just sprayed these with neem oil. Sadly, they're not growing as well as they did last year. Much, much slower. They're all stunted because of the bugs. This is okra. Again, growing slow, but they're growing. That's all that matters. Look, see this? Diseases, bugs, aphids mostly. So, it's been much slower growth this season, but it's growing. That's all that matters. You'll have some ups and some downs. Last year my melons didn't grow too well. This year my cantaloupe's growing well. Watermelon's growing well. Pear is growing well. It didn't last year. The fig and pomegranate tree are growing very well. So is some of the garlic, which it didn't last year. And especially the papayas, zucchinis, and the tomatoes. So there will always be ups and downs in the garden. But that's the fun of it. It always keeps you working. And you'll have outcomes at the end of the season no matter what. I'll update you guys soon when more growth occurs.